You are listening to Larry Conners, USA.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
This is Larry Conners USA. Larry Conners USA.
I woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Mama always said I'd be the chosen one.
This is a farce. It's a disgrace that they spend millions of dollars and years. Instead of prosecuting actual murderous thugs on the streets of New York, they go after their political enemies. And if we're going to pretend for 1 second this is anything other than a witch hunt that they can get away with, because where do you go, Jesse? To another leftist judge in New York who's going to say, you know what, I don't care, go after your political enemies. This is going on in America right now. This is Banana Republic stuff. And if our press was even a little bit intellectually honest, they'd be calling it that. Because this is not the storyline that they've been sold and told by the AG and the DA over the last few years. This is nonsense, and it has to be called out as such.
And we're going to do so. And so did he. That is Donald Trump Jr. This is July 2nd, 2021. He is talking about the indictment, the charges against a CFO of one of the Trump companies. A criminal charge. We've had the New York District Attorney vowing that they were going to take Trump down for years, and now working with the Attorney General of the U.S. to bring these charges. These charges are basically a tax issue. Yes, you can face criminal charges willfully avoiding tax. I should say evading tax. You're always allowed to avoid a tax if you can find a way, a loophole that works for you, and everyone does. But when you're evading, that's a different thing. The CFO of this company, one of the Trump's businesses, he got a car, apparently didn't report that fully on his tax form. Apparently Trump helped send one of his kids to college, and they didn't report that. That would have been income. You don't make a criminal charge out. But the bottom line is they were never after this guy anyway. They were after Donald Trump. Now they think, oh, we put pressure on him, maybe he'll flip. How'd that work with Flynn, by the way? Yeah. Now, the other thing in play here is, as Donald Trump Jr. said, while they're spending all that time and effort on this kind of stuff, crime is running rampant in New York City, and they're really doing nothing. Not doing anything but absolutely letting those they've arrested on various protests that involved arson and looting, just letting them go without bail. No, it's all political. We all see that. We were led to believe, by the way, by all the pundits that were watching and covering, they have a smoking gun. They might even have a gun that will convict Donald Trump, president, of a serious crime. And it may be like, well, they couldn't say the Russian collusion because that story blew up. We'll get into that in more detail over the next 2 hours. Also, President Biden today snapping at reporters again. I don't want your question. I want only happy things. I'm ready for July 4th weekend. I want happy. Remember when he snapped at a reporter after the Putin summit? He did it again. You think the questions are getting to him, or just the job is getting to him, or could it be all the noise coming out of the VP Harris's office about how she's mistreating and abusing staff? You think that's it? Drug cartels we know are smuggling children. Biden administration is even helping by helping them have an open border. But now even a member of Congress, Congresswoman Veronica Escobar of El Paso, Texas, she either is doing it or sending her staff members south of the border to advise illegals how to avoid capture and, if caught, what to do, helping them evade federal immigration law. She's a congresswoman. Tucker Carlson, we're going to revisit his claim that the NSA has been spying on his communications. Why? Where's the proof still? I know it upset a lot of folks when I went into that story as I did the other day. Well, get ready. We're going to do it again. If you didn't like it the first round, you're probably not going to like this one. Then we have former Missouri Senator McCaskill. She dares compare the January 6th riot at the Capitol I hope you're listening. Former Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill dares compare the January 6th riot at the Capitol, which was bad, atrocious. I constantly condemn it. But she dares compare that to what happened at Benghazi? And she said, well, I don't mean to dismiss Benghazi. You just did. We'll get into that. And I really want to try to close out the program with something kind of really uplifting. A letter a Marine sent home after going through some boot camp training. We'll get a good laugh out of that as we celebrate July 4. Lock and load. Ready on the right.
You can email Larry at LarryConnersUSA@gmail.com. LarryConnersUSA@gmail.com.